watching Shalom TV, celebrating Jewish culture.
You know, there are all of these people, and there was a recent piece in the New York Times that said, I call it the IOI syndrome, the if only Israel syndrome. You know, there's this notion that if only Israel had a different government, if only Israel had a different tone to its public utterances, if only Israel took a less aggressive stand towards its dangerous neighbors, if only Israel didn't have settlements, if only Israel didn't have settlers, if only Israel didn't have a right wing, and the assumption is then there would be peace. Now, the truth of the matter is, if that were the case, to me it's a worthwhile price. But I don't buy it. That doesn't mean, please understand me, it doesn't mean that Israel doesn't have responsibilities in the peace process. Of course it does. Of course it does. And it doesn't mean that Israel wouldn't pay a very high price for any eventual agreement. It would have to come to grips domestically to agree on the price. And it would be painful. But this if only Israel syndrome is a kind of uniquely Jewish pathology. Because to me what it does is, essentially it says, the solution is in our hand because the problem was of our creation. And Americans want to believe at the very least that every problem has a solution. But what should the Palestinians do to achieve peace? Because, you know what? If we had a left-of-center government in Israel, well, wait a second. We did. We did. His name was Ehud Barak. His foreign minister was Shlomo Ben Ami. It was the most left-of-center government in Israel's history. It worked with Bill Clinton at Camp David for a sweeping two-state solution. And what was Arafat's response? Followed by the Second Intifada. I mean, think about this for a moment. I mean, it's so counterintuitive. Here are Bill Clinton and Ehud Barak, two people genuinely committed to the search for peace, struggling to persuade the Palestinians to accept a two-state agreement. And the response is not only a no with no counter-offer, but a second intifada that killed well over 1,000 Israelis, which in American proportional terms would be as many as 40,000? I mean, is that, forgive me, is that an appropriate response? And the IOI crowd would say, well, but maybe we needed a more left-wing leader. Well, how about in 1996 when Shimon Peres succeeded the assassinated Yitzhak Rabin? He should have been a shoo-in for re-election in 96. And what happened? You remember? You said it. One of several bus incidents. Dozens of people killed on Shimon Peres's watch. Now, again, I want to stress, it's not that I don't think Israel has responsibilities. It's not that I think settlements are helpful, especially when the footprint is large. It's not that I think outposts are helpful. I don't. But I think we need some clarity here. Shimon Peres was the prime minister of Israel. Terror attacks. Ehud Barak was the prime minister of Israel with Bill Clinton as his partner. The Second Intifada. Ehud Olmert moved from the right to the center, went beyond Barak's proposal in 2008. And what did he get? Rejection. So we need to look a little more deeper at what's going on the other side, and forgive me, not succumb to the New York Times editorial mentality or the Financial Times editorial mentality, which makes it all so simple. God, they think it's all so simple. Why are we so stupid not to see what they see? It's the IOI stupid. It's the if only Israel stupid. Well, forgive me. You heard before that nice things about me. I must be stupid. I must be stupid. Or, heaven forbid, I must not want peace. Well, let me tell you something. It's not for me to demonstrate my priest credentials to you, but I'm part of a people who in sanctuaries like this repeat the words, Lo yisagoy al goy cherev, lo yimadu od milchama, and nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall they learn war anymore. I don't need the New York Times. I don't need the Financial Times. I don't need the smart Alex on television to tell me the desirability of peace. For 3,000 and more years, the Jewish people have made it our central quest to be pursuers of peace. What we need are partners for peace. And the day we have partners for peace, peace will not just be an option, peace will be an outcome. And then maybe the lion will lie down with the lamb. That's my tradition. That's your tradition. Shana Tova, and thank you.